The simple fact is, though, Mr. Nasheed, that all of your troubles, the popular protest, the rebellion in the police force, all began after this arbitrary arrest of the senior judge. Now, the Supreme Court in your country declared it unconstitutional. The UN Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights said that the judge should either be charged or released immediately. Your own Vice President described it as shameful. And the fact is, the police now want to ask you some very serious questions about why you did it, why you arrested that judge.
The police, Stephen, now wants to frame me to disqualify any candidacy for the forthcoming new elections. That is what they want. They know the old order and the old leadership has been embroiled in a coup, and they will have to answer for this. And to counter that, now they want me to they want to disqualify my candidacy. That's why the police is running after me, and the police wants to arrest me. The police has been wanting the court order that you mentioned. This order was actually released before I was forced to resign. If you have a look at the dates of that, this was released before I was forced to resign, Stephen. No, this was not true. What has happened here is that we were not able to suppress the old order because we did not want to sound heavy-handed. We wanted to run a process, and we were running a process. But they came, when we started reforming the judiciary, they knew they couldn't hide behind the judiciary anymore. We had already six opposition MPs had criminal cases in the same courts when this happened. So they didn't want the courts to be reformed. There's human rights abuses, there's corruption cases of the past, and they don't want any of these things looked into. That is why they were so concerned when we started reforming the judiciary. There was no popular demonstration here, Stephen. 200 or 300 odd people whom they paid, they were always every night demonstrating around. And then when finally they won, they were able to get me out of power. Where are the people who are in euphoria? If I am not so popular, and if I shouldn't be in government, I'm sure there should be people out on the streets on their side. But that's not happening.
The first question I'm going to put to you is this. You've spent time in political exile before. Do you believe you're going to have to go back into political exile again, given the current predicament you are in?
No, we will have elections here, not to worry at all. The people of this country wants election, and we will have election. We are holding on to the people from violence, but their sentiments are really, really boiling up. But we will hold on to it. We will have protest here, peaceful political activity here, until we have elections. And we will not relent.
Where is your family right now?
My family is in Mali. Now, my wife is in India, and both my daughters are in Mali now.
And your family are going to stay?
Yes, they are going to stay. We are all going to stay. Whatever happens, we are all going to stay here. And we will win the elections. We will have early elections in the Maldives. You see, the interest of the international community cannot be served by just protecting the existing status quo. The existing status quo is the old order, and we can't let that happen. You have to serve the interest of the people of the Maldives. So we will have to have fresh elections.
The position you've outlined on this program today suggests to me that the Maldives may be heading for very serious internal conflict over the next few days and weeks. Would you agree?
Well, I hope that the international community would understand, and also the rebel government would understand that they don't have a chance to continue. They can't run the government. Dr. Wahid doesn't have a single seat in the parliament. He doesn't have a single local council seat. We have a working majority in the parliament. And whatever cabinet or whatever he does, it has to come through the parliament. Unless they go ahead and arrest all the parliamentarians as well, it's going to be totally impossible for them to do this. So I think everyone will realize that we have to have fresh elections here.
Hang on. How disappointed are you with the reaction that I outlined earlier of the international community? They have not stood in support of you and your position, have they?
Some of them haven't. The British government has, and the vast majority of the Europeans have. The Commonwealth has. Those who haven't are the Indian government and the United States government. I understand that the Indian National Security Advisor is going to visit the Maldives again, and I understand that India will come around to see what has happened. In the first flush of things, both India and the US was unable to ascertain what happened here. I think when they came here, they very clearly found what has happened, but by this time their governments had given statements, so therefore they are finding it difficult to turn around. But I'm sure once the facts are clearly understood, they will all support an early election. I am hoping that the Indian government and the United States government will come around to this position in the next day or so.
Final thought for you. You have spent years in prison in the Maldives over the last 20 years because of your fight for political freedoms. Are you now ready and prepared to go back to prison?
If need be, I am very ready to go back to prison, but fortunately the people of the vast majority of the people of this country are with us, and I do not see any reason why I should go to prison. I think the rebels should go to prison. Those who mutinied should go to prison. Those who used force to change an elected government should go to prison. I am sure they will go to prison, but I do not see how and why I should be going to the prison at all.
Mohamed Nasheed in Mali, thank you very much for joining us on Hard Talk, and I apologize for some of the technical difficulties we had, but thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Stephen.